Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I have something different to show you this time. For those of you following, you know that I usually work on bicycles, but recently I decided to change things a bit and I bought this. I bought this Kawasaki KXF 250 4-stroke. It's a 2005, and as you can see, it's in need of a little bit of love, or of TLC, as people say. It's been a dream of mine, or more or less something that I wanted to do for a long time. I always loved motorcycles, especially dirt bikes, and I've been following a few guys here on YouTube that do this, like buy these old bicycles, older bicycles, and restore them to mint condition. Of course, my budget is very low. I won't be able to do something with like performance parts or anything like that, but I will change this into something much better. So of course I already started disassembling it. I've done a few videos where they were basically for my orientation, so I videoed all the electric harness, because this motorcycle actually had an harness to put lights on it if I wanted to, even though this is the motocross version, 43 horsepower. It's also fully licensed, so it has a license plate if I want to, you know, ride it on the street, and it comes with an harness to put lights, front light, rear light, you know, everything, which is something that I will, well, some of you may criticize, but I will eliminate. I'm just gonna leave the basic electric parts, electric harness for the spark plug basically, and the stator and spark plug, and for all the lights I will just use LED lighting with batteries that I can recharge, with little batteries that I can recharge. I'm not going to ride it at night too much, and for the day the LED lights that we have available with chargeable batteries will be more than enough. So as you can see, the engine still on. I've started disassembling a bit. Pretty rough condition. It runs, but it runs really poorly. Apparently the top end has been rebuilt recently, but the bottom end needs a little bit of work. It's not too much, basically clutch, water pump. That's what needs to be done in terms of mechanics. So the water pump is already off, and then I'll check how the clutch is. A little bit of rust, nothing too deep, it's just superficial rust. And yeah, but apparently cylinder, piston, valves, everything is in order, and it did run, and the noise that it made was good. It just didn't run well because it was the carburetor needs to be clean and tuned, basically. So it's just a few shots that I have done to actually remember where things go when I start assembling it. So some of these videos are just videos that I have done for my orientation, and also to have an idea of how it looked before I actually started assembling it again. It is a like I said, it is the motocross version. Okay, even though it has the lights, it's a pretty powerful machine. With some nice features to it. Like 2005, from what I can see, it was the last year that it came with this metal or this steel frame. From here on in, I think they are all aluminium frame, but you guys can correct me on that if I'm wrong. Pretty sure that was it though. These are all the parts. As you can see here, like just all the parts, all of it has been disassembled. Nothing has been cleaned, nothing has been worked on, just a bunch of parts all put together. This is the front suspension. As you can see, it's actually Holland's. It's an old one from 1997. I don't know what happened here, but I think he may have broken the other suspension, and just the previous owner may have broken it and then decided to change it for this one. But it is actually a Holland's, and it is it's great. It's not in perfect condition. It will need to be repaired, but it is a really good suspension, so we're gonna use it. As you can see here, I'm gonna try and use it at least, because yeah, it's a genuine Holland's suspension. It may need some reparation. I'm gonna try and of course repair it. I ordered a complete rebuild kit for the suspension. Here it is, a picture of the Holland's site with pictures of the actual suspension, the one in the center in that picture there. And yeah, I ordered everything: new oil, new Teflon bearings for the inside, new dust covers, everything, and used all the information I could find online for this suspension, and I'm gonna try and get it to work. Then you guys I'll update you on that. This is the result after I redid the bottom end here. A few coats of paint and then some clear lacquer on top. Then I'm gonna cover the rest with some carbon fiber look-alike wrapping paper or plastic vinyl. These are all this is the rebuild kit for the suspension, all of it. You have all the seals, all the bearings, everything. All the internals were completely changed, and we are going to try and get this suspension to a much better. Here it is, more or less done. You can have an idea of how it looks. I'll show you after. This is still the before. This is the seals that I took out. They weren't in bad condition, but of course we changed them. And then we moved on to the rear suspension linkage, which is completely destroyed. I had to remove everything. It was just piles and piles of rust. So of course I ordered everything new, all the bearings, everything completely brand new, because they were unusable. They're completely unusable. We cleaned them all, everything nice and clean, and yeah, it looks perfect. That's just rust and rust, piles of rust. I cleaned all the bolts and nuts, and yeah, this is a picture of the exhaust, also in need of a lot of work. Elbow grease for this one to bring it back to life, but it will also work out well. Yeah, so as you can see, pretty rough shape. Yes, it will take a lot of scrubbing for this to be again worthy of a restored 250F. Linkages again, completely clean, just waiting for the bearings and seals, dust caps and everything. Quite a lot of work, and that's just shut, completely destroyed, unusable, of course, garbage. And we're just gonna use everything new. This is the exhaust already. This took a while. As you can see, it's almost new. All those scratches, everything came off after a lot of scrubbing. This is another shot of the bearings, the linkage, the rear suspension linkage, completely buckets of rust. And these are all the new ones, all balls. Used all balls for lots and lots of stuff. Moose racing for others, but mainly for all these linkages, for all these seals, even for the suspension, all the repair kits, suspension repair kits, they were all from All Balls. This is how the swing arm looked. It was completely destroyed. I actually had to get it refilled and resurfaced and redone completely, and to take it to a professional to do. And then this was the carburetor. It was in need of a lot of work too, cleaning inside and outside. As you can see, I don't have one of those ultrasound, whatever it's called, cleaning machines, but I did the best I could with a toothbrush and some WD-40 on the outside, and then of course on the inside some isopropyl alcohol and some brake cleaner, or carb cleaner, actually a spray of carb cleaner to clean the inside. Seal kit completely new for everything, even for the mid body section, which I didn't do straight away, but I ordered it after. You will see later in the video. For now, I just cleaned everything piece by piece, detail by detail. Everything was completely cleaned and then put back together. But it needed a lot of stuff, so I ordered all new kits, all new seals for everything. As you can see, this little bladder is completely rusted, so I ordered a new one too. Yeah, carb was completely redone from scratch, almost from scratch. Of course, not from scratch because I still have the carb, but it's it took a lot of work, lots of time, and of course a little bit of investment on all those seal kits. This is after it was redone the first time, and this is the exhaust, also in the process of being completely cleaned. I have some footage before of it already cleaned, but yeah, this is how it was inside. Just the wool, that fabric that it has inside, it had to be completely changed. I don't know how it's called in English. Rock wool, something like that. This is the process of doing it all by hand. As you can see, with a little brush there, just to redo everything. Of course, the aluminium part wasn't by hand. It was not with that brush, it was with another brush, but it was all by hand. Scotch-Brite and very thin sandpaper, everything, just to get it back. A little bit of help in certain areas from the machine. This is the new rock wool that went inside. And yeah, and there it is, finished. All nooks and crannies completely cleaned. And this is the air box, the filter box, the air filter box. It was full of mud, inside and out. It was incredible. Lots and lots of mud and dirt. The new flap there. This is the process of cleaning it. As you can see, it's quite grimy. Lots of mud and dirt and oil, dried. Then it's clean as best as I could. I'll still scrub a little bit more, but it looks much better now. All the dirt, all the mud that was inside, I took it off from every single little area, so completely cleaned inside. And of course this part too, all cleaned, perfectly cleaned, and ready to be assembled. And here it is, finished product. The new flap there, and of course I added those carbon sides, imitation of carbon, of course, sticky paper, what you call it, vinyl, imitation of carbon vinyl, glued, but very well glued with heat, with a heat gun, and it turned out really, really well. As you can see, perfect, all cleaned, all new, ready to be assembled. This is the engine. Of course, the engine probably took the most scrubbing. Look at that. This is completely covered in mud and oil, dry oil. The covers are completely scratched. Paint has come off. This the water coolant, the coolant hoses, those are the metal hoses that connect to the radiators, they are completely gone. I ordered new ones from Kawasaki. If you can't find aftermarket ones, it has to be Kawasaki. This is the subframe, took a long time to clean too. Rear suspension completely cleaned and redone also. The brakes, you'll see what I did to the brakes. It took a long time, but of course completely done too. And the radiators, one of them was bent, had to be unbent and cleaned. The other one was good. One of them was perfectly fine. There was one of them with a little dent, but no leaks, no nothing, so completely reusable. And this is the front suspension, front wheel. Also, it took a long time to redo. New bearings on both wheels, all new bearings and seal and dust caps or dust seals, all new. In here, just to show that the actual stanchions were free of any scratches. They didn't have like any, of course, the normal very light scratches from usage from 1997, but it's actually in really good condition. And everything else was totally fine. The triple clamps were good. The top one needed, one of the bolts was broken. One of the areas where the bolts go in, where they bolt in, was broken. I had to also get it refilled with solder and then re-threaded, but that was easy to do. And this is the airbox, still dirty. Some older footage that I have. The seat is the exact same. There are no rips, no nothing. I just had to clean it off really well, and that was it basically. And some shots of the engine. It was not. Oh, this one has a little hole, that cover, but I had it like welded and resurfaced. It was perfect. No issues there. This is the engine. Some shots of the engine, pretty dirty and grimy. The harness, the electric harness, had some issues too that I had to address. I had to completely take off all that tape, redo all the wiring with my, welded the wires just so they were perfectly fine. And then I got some heat shrink sleeve and used up on all of the electric harness. Took a long time too, but it turned out perfect. So some shots from my orientation, because I had to completely take out all those little wires. This is when the majority of the parts that I ordered arrive. Pretty happy day. Felt like a young boy during Christmas. That's me. And just open the box of goodies. Basically on this box what you'll see is all the plastics, a few other things as you will see, but basically the most important thing in this package were all the plastics that I ordered. Okay, completely new. I didn't get like a full kit. I got the full kit, but in separate parts, because the front end is from a 2020, I think, but the rest of the plastics are the original from the 2005. But I updated the front to a more recent one. I can't remember exactly. I think 2020. Mod tool, engine oil, fully synthetic, and the chain guards for the swing arm, the radiator covers, everything was inside, some seals, lots of stuff, air filter, oil filter, everything. Here is the frame back from powder coating. I think the color is beautiful, a little bit of a shiny silver that I chose. I use a company close to my house, MVA, and MVA is like, they're pros, man. They do such a great job, and the frame was a great example of that. It was perfect. It's brand new. This is after starting assembling the motorcycle. A few things already back on the frame, the engine being the first one, of course, because once you have the engine you can start putting other things together. This is the rear suspension already redone, swing arm completely redone and sandblasted. The covers completely painted, also treated and painted. All the wiring done. Clutch was fine. The clutch was really good. No need to change. Now I didn't change the clutch because it's totally fine. I did change, though, you will see it later, the water pump completely. I took the cover, the engine cover off, the entire engine cover, and I changed the bearings and the seals of the engine of the water pump. Some other footage just of basic stuff that I did, including changing the seals on the sprocket, the oil seal, and then the wheels, changing all the bearings on the wheels. Okay, both wheels got new bearings, new dust seals, everything. This is the motorcycle, just like a glimpse of how it would look. So those plastics are just hanging there, no, just one bolt on each, just to see more or less how it would look. But of course they came off after, because this was just for me to, enjoy a little bit the looks of the motorcycle when it would be finished. These are the brakes. They took so much work to do, and yeah, they are, as you can see, in need of work. Yeah, we then there's also the images. I got of course, new repair kits for the carburetor, including the screw to the fuel mix screw, the mid body gasket kit also. Everything was new in this carburetor, so the carburetor has completely been redone. So now it's much more responsive and just runs better overall. I think it was the best thing to do, was to change everything. Some people neglect this. This was completely covered in dust and grime. So I cleaned everything really, really well, and then applied the new seal kit, and it turned out perfect. Already assembled it and took it for a spin, and it's just perfect. It was from Moose Racing, this one. It worked really well for the carburetor. Some footage of it. This is, of course, the carburetor after it's completely redone. I still hadn't put the fuel mix screw in, but it would come after. Yeah, it turned out really well. Like I said, I don't have an ultrasound or ultrasonic cleaner. If I had that, it would turn out much better, but I think overall the inside is completely clean. It's the part that, it's more important. This is the complete set of the repair set for the water pump and other seals for the clutch cover, new oil filter, of course, and yeah, everything. This is already changing the engine cover to repair the water pump. You have to take that cover off too, not just the clutch cover. You have to take the actual engine cover, the other one, the bigger one that you can see there, has to come off, and you will see like that. And then you have to clean everything, and then change the bearing inside and the two seals. So the inside seal and the outside seal, both of them need to be changed. And of course the bearing also. The bearing that I had on mine were still good, because the only leak that I had was from the outside seal to the bleed hole in between the seals, and the bearing was not affected, but I changed the bearing anyway because I had a new one. As you can see, that's the one of the seals, the inside seal, and you have the outside seal on the other side. And the shaft, see the shaft completely covered in rust, but it would actually clean off pretty well. I cleaned everything off. This is the outside seal, all grimy. It will come off very soon, and that's the inside seal, also will come off. I cleaned everything before assembling. That's the seal, one of them, completely covered in grime. Inside the same thing, and we will change and put new ones. There it is. Throw those away because they are not doing anything there, just rust. And that's the shaft. It's already cleaned and assembled with new bearings and new bearing and new seals. So one of the bolts was completely pushed, because you can see it gets thinner inside when it's over, like it wasn't bolted to torque, so it got damaged. I got three new bolts for the water pump, new water pump, of course, seal, everything new, and assembled back. Okay, so this for now, this is what we have done, what I have done. Still have a few more videos to share, but so I don't make it too long, I'll continue on a next video, so stay tuned. Hope you enjoyed.